What's up, guys? Frugal BC here, and Algorand still going the right direction. We're seeing a big pump from where it was in lows around 9 cents, even a little bit lower than 9 cents at times. Good to see that. We have a lot of great Algorand news, a lot of good positive energy in the space, and that is really awesome to see. So I got a number of things to take a look at today. Let's see what we got on the agenda here. First off, I'm going to talk about Algorand seeing some tremendous growth, and I'm not just talking about price action. I'm talking about people actually getting accounts on Algorand, so that's good to see. Bank of Italy testing that TIPS hashlink platform next month. We're going to talk about that. A pay-per-view platform debuting on Algorand. That's super cool to see. Some sad news about NIF Gen shutting down. I'm going to give my comments on that as someone who had been involved with that early on. And we're going to look at something called A-Notes, which is a music royalty program on Algorand and Polygon. It's got some pretty big names, so we're going to dig into that, plus some good news about an Algorand-based game. Talk about that at the end, so stay tuned for that. And I did have a item on Lofty. I think I'm going to save that for a separate video because I kind of want to talk about my Lofty experience. Before we get to that, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Non-Fungible Domains. If you want to get that .algo address in the best way possible, these guys, it works. It works on just about every platform you can imagine, except Coinbase, which is too bad, but that'll probably take some time, I imagine. So you can't send like your Coinbase accounts to a .algo address, which would be nice, but you can do it on pretty much everything in the Algorand ecosystem. It works wonderful. Check out their link below. And we're brought to you by our newest sponsor, Fractal Monsters. Really happy to be partnered with them. They're doing wonderful things, creating a great game that you can play. You can go play it for free right now. Sign up for my link down below to check it out. And you can buy an NFT for actually earning benefits. So you can play the game for free, or you can buy this NFT and actually earn something on here and there. And they have different coins that you can earn on. It's really neat. So I enjoy playing the game. It's like kind of a mix of Tamagotchi and Pokemon, and it's good fun. Go check it out. Also want to give a shout out to AJ Writes Crypto. He shouted me out in his latest video, his latest Algorand video, and I highly recommend you check out his video. Definitely, I'll try to put a little thing up here. Is it this side? There we go. Go check that out. Check out his video because he made a really great video about Algorand. And let me know if you see the shout out that I got. Come back and comment on this video that you saw that shout out. I think that's really neat of him to do. And it's been helping with the channel. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can see all of our content. Remember, you don't have to smash the like button or subscribe button. You can just press it gently, and it works just fine. Anyway, let's get to our first item. This is from Leaksrand. I like that. I like how he added the Algorand into his name like that. Algorand has experienced remarkable growth and adoption this week. Over the past 7 days, more than 180,000 new accounts were created on the network. That is really, really cool. This influx of new users demonstrates the increasing popularity and utility of the blockchain. Yeah, I'm glad to see that. I think that's a really great metric to see popularity increasing in Algorand. And while we're at it, I think there are a lot of great stuff coming into Algorand, a lot of real world asset type stuff. You know, I've talked about Lofty a number of times, but also price going up never hurts. It just never hurts. Now, I know that we are way down compared to before. Yeah, so you can see we just touched that 13-cent level. We just jumped up and hit the bottom of the rim there on 13 cents. Fell back down to a little over 12, and that's okay. You're gonna have these. You know, this is how it works in crypto. You go down, you go up, you go down. Even when you're going generally up, and you look at that direction. I like to see that direction on that chart. That's what we like to see. That's really great. Great to see that improvement in price, and I think that's just got everyone a lot more positive. You know, I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but everyone is just so much more positive these days. With the price being what it is, you can just see the sentiment going up. And remember, I shared that piece about how Algorand people are actually much more positive than the rest of the chains, which was surprising to me because I do see a lot of negativity, and it happens. And You know, I think we do have to call out people when they need to be called out. The whole shoe thing, I mean, that's just ridiculous. And, you know, we should be critical when that happens. Let's get to the next item now. So you might remember this item back when we shared it. Gosh, it had to be like maybe last winter when we were talking about the tips platform in Italy, how this was going to help with insurance settlements. Let's take a look at this now. The Bank of Italy, and Algorand had this partnership with Bank of Italy. Bank of Italy will start testing the testing phase of the TIPS Hashlink platform in December 2023. Algorand was designed for scalability, and that allows for real economic applications. Let's take a closer look at this. Target TIPS. Dedicated instance of TIPS deployed in the private cloud infrastructure of Banca d'Italia. A lot of it's in Italian, so I can't really read it, but and you know, they show how it's going to interact with Algorand, which is a permissionless and public blockchain census in order of seconds. Yes, Algorand node hosted by PureStake. Anyway, a huge step on the way to cross-border payments. Great to see. I hope to follow that and see how they do when they get close to the testing phase in December. That is next month. We're a month away from that. So very good to see. Great job, Bank of Italy and Algorand. I think that's going to be a huge partnership. Imagine how much revenue will be coming in when Algorand's being used for cross-border payments, which has nothing to do with ISO 20022, by the way. And you can see my video if you want to understand that. Well, I shouldn't say it has nothing to do. It's just that there's no such thing as a compliant coin. So there are coins that will work well for payments, cross-border payments. Anything that with high scalability, fast settlement times, and low fees is going to accomplish that, and that's Algorand. But the ISO standard replaces the SWIFT standard for bank messaging, so it doesn't have anything to do with cryptocurrency. And as John Allen Woods, the CTO of Algorand, explained on our channel, if there was use of ISO 20022, it would be on the dApp level, like a dApp built on Algorand to do cross-border payments might use that language, that syntax. But it's just a syntax. So anyway, I've got videos that you can watch where I go deeper into that, and you can check those out. But that's what you need to know for now, and I do encourage you to check that out. Okay, so I think this next one is really cool. This is a pay-per-view platform that is debuting on Algorand. So now, some of you guys may or may not know, but in my real life, my other life outside of crypto, I have a newsletter business, and it does pretty well with subscriptions. And I'm very big on the subscription model. I think it's helped publishers and especially journalists be able to monetize their work and actually get paid for doing the good work that they do. And it's a lot better than the ad-supported model, which is just terrible. And this is sort of an in-between. I think this is kind of interesting. I'm not saying I'm fully on board with it, but we should check out this idea here. This comes from Duran.algo. He says, well, Algo fam, the time has come. Trust.algo's beta is ready to go. In just a short week of work, Flipping Algos and I put together a pay-per-view content monetization system. If you have an Algo wallet, you can post content for a small hosting fee and then earn it back through views of that work. As a creator, you can set the price of your content anywhere from 1 to 10 algos right now, which is about 10 cents to $1. 90% of the algo gets sent directly to you. The remaining 10% is collected as a platform fee. And that is really good. That might seem like, you know, oh, you're not getting all of it, but that's okay, because like they need to make their money too. And 10% is very reasonable. I think I give more than 10% between Substack and Stripe on my Substack business, so that's not bad at all. The system allows for creators to earn what they deserve for every view of their work, which wasn't possible in previous subscription or ad-based monetization models. I encourage you to check out the website at press.algo.com and let me know what you think. DMs are open. So one of the main reasons that I really like this is that this is an example of actual business being transacted on the blockchain, and we want to see more of this. I want to see where you're paying for a service, you're paying for something with your algo, and or you're getting paid in algo. The more that happens, the more that can help lead to adoption. And something like this, I think, is really cool. I like the idea. I am a big fan of the subscription model, so I don't know that you would, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see comparisons once models like this have been going I've seen other places where you can pay $1 to read an article, stuff like that, which is nice because like sometimes you don't want to have a subscription to everything, but you really want to read that article. It'd be cool to integrate if there's a way to integrate the two, but then a lot of times that's like the spark to get people to subscribe. You know, I've been doing like kind of a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 free articles and 1 paid one on my newsletter, and it tends to, you know, I could probably go faster, but you also don't build loyalty. So I think because you need discoverability too. And I worry about the discoverability with something like this because if people have to pay without getting a sample, which is how a lot of news organizations do it. What I like about the Substack model is that you can get people reading your free content for a while and eventually they'll be like, you know what, I want to see everything. I really like this guy. So it gives you a chance to build an audience over time. But I like the idea. I like that we're transacting on Algorand. I like to see that a lot. All right, so the next one, not as happy. NIF Gen announced that it is shutting down the NIF Gen platform. And they've been working on another project anyway. I think a lot of people have just sort of given up on this, but let's see what they're up to. We'll just see what they have to say. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, NIF Gen was supposed to be like, it was a way for YouTubers, and I think they were gonna extend it out to others too, but it was a way for YouTubers to basically have a community hub where you could, it's sort of like Patreon, except specifically for Algorand creators. And you could put extra videos on here and then people would pay to see that they could pay one fee to see all the Algorand creators' extra content. It was a pretty good idea. Now, I'll tell you, when they initially reached out, they had some like just pie in the sky numbers that they were saying like, look how much you could make with this system. And I'm like, it's not going to be anywhere near that. But I was like, man, if it's 5% of this would be really helpful. And I got to give this team shout out. Now, I'm sure this was a lot of like Algorand money that they spent on, foundation money that they spent on this, but they did help a number of us get to Decipher last year. I know they helped out the Next Block folks. They helped out Adam Bergman, and they helped me out. Didn't pay for the whole thing, but paid for a good chunk of it. Made it very affordable, because otherwise I don't think I would have went to Decipher. I mean, it's just too much to spend for. And it was interesting. I've never been to Dubai. Now I can say I have been. So I always will be grateful to them for that, and I'll try to support their next endeavor. But let's just read what they had to say. Okay, after a lot of consideration, the team has decided to stop working on NIF Gen for 4 reasons. 1, current market conditions make it very difficult to fundraise. Yeah, I think that's fair. Competing with YouTube and Twitch is not possible. I don't know that they were competing with YouTube and Twitch. If that was their goal, I remember it more being like a Patreon, which is like an added service. So Patreon exists and they do fine. I'll get into why I think they weren't able to make a go of it, but we'll get into that. Long-term video hosting costs would be unsustainable. I can see that being expensive. Business model of having users pay access exclusive content on different hub doesn't work. Also don't agree with that because Patreon has proved that that does work, but it might have been too small of a pool to get on. And it might have just been timing too. NIF Gen got a grant from the foundation, which they are grateful for. For those that don't forgot, they made a significant contribution to the Algorand influencers to get to Decipher. Yep, they sure did, and we didn't forget. NIF Gen will be open source before the end of the year. The smart contract will be open source next week. The front end should be open source by the end of just November. Back end will be open source by December. I want to thank. Unfortunately, the product didn't work out, and we take responsibility for that. It's also important to remember that over 90% of startups fail. In crypto, that number is even higher. Fair enough. I'm a little curious what people said before I didn't weigh in on this. I did want to talk about it here. Yeah, NFD says wishing you the best. Luck, Chris and team. First off, I didn't think it was a bad idea at all. I kind of felt like, well, I don't have anything to lose by participating in this, so I might as well give it a shot, see how it goes. I helped out a lot with the testing. You know, I would take time out of my day to go on a call with the team and help test out the product. 2 things that were really alarming to me. One is that they didn't seem to have a very good strategy for user acquisition. They seemed, I've listened to some of these stories about how like early these companies would get their first like 100 users, and they usually are pretty like they try really hard. They do some really interesting things. I think having this ready to go by Decipher or planning it for the next Decipher might have been a great strategy, because they probably could have gotten people, to sign up at Decipher with some guerrilla marketing. I gave him some ideas, but I was a little shocked that they just didn't seem to have a user acquisition plan. That's a huge step in any business. You know, in YouTube, the strategy is really just post, because the algorithm will help you. But then there's other stuff like podcasts. Podcasts are really hard to grow because it doesn't have a native platform to propagate. You have to go out and get users. And they would have had to go out and get users. Now, the number two thing that was concerning is that for some reason, I was one of the only people in the Algorand space who was actually posting additional content to it. So I had once a week, I was doing my portfolio, my crypto experiment, which now, you know, has taken on a few different forms since I started it. It was meant to be a NIF Gen exclusive. So I was posting weekly, and I just didn't see that from anyone else. Seawell posted a number of videos on there. Everyone else, like, they might have posted like one, or some of them, I don't think they posted anything. And I don't know, that it was never going to be a success unless everybody was posting. So yeah, it didn't work out. And you know, they're great guys. Chris from NIF Gen is a great dude. So I don't take this as being too harsh on them, and I wish them luck in their future endeavors. I think they're doing something on Polygon now, but good for them. And then now the last thing I want to talk about is Gunny. The Algorand NFT game Gunny is the alpha, closed alpha, is going live today. I will be testing it out later as best as I can with the equipment that I have. And they have given me permission to share footage and things like that. You know, I just have to make sure, which I always do anyway, that I'm clear that it's an alpha. So there's going to be a lot of bugs and stuff. So first impressions will be more like, I don't want to be like, oh, look, they screwed this up and that. It's more like, you know, does this seem like it will be a fun game? Is it well thought out? And just what kind of, it looks like kind of like a Fortnite style game, except you have an extra little critter that does some stuff. And I don't know if you guys know this, but they gave away free NFTs for this game. So you didn't have to buy the NFTs, but you did have to see it on Twitter at the right time. So, and then I did a giveaway where I gave 5 more pairs away on my Twitter. So we did that as well. So I'm really excited to try it out. I just found out too today that they did not take any like foundation money or outside money like that. So they just built it. I think they did sell some NFTs as well, if I'm not mistaken, which is really cool. I don't know if they did or not, actually. I want to be clear about that. But they didn't take any outside money, which I think is really awesome. They're hoping that, you know, kind of giving, once the game is out, then they'll have kind of a proof of concept. So I'm looking forward to playing. I think it's gonna be really great. That is our update for Algorand this week. Like I said, it's good to have positive news to share, and hopefully fewer and fewer of the oh, look who's closing down this week kind of news, because we had a lot of that in the, you know, especially like earlier this year, this summer, this spring, we had a lot of those. And it's nice to see that period winding down and good things happening for Algorand. So remember, guys, stay safe out there. Not your keys, not your crypto. And I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you in the future.